How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a review on Versace Eros EDP. So Eros EDP was a fragrance that came out in 2020. This one has top notes of mint, candied apple, lemon, mandarin orange, middle notes of ambroxan, geranium and clary sage, and base notes of vanilla, patchouli, bitter orange, leather, cedar, and sandalwood. Let's go ahead and take a look at the presentation of this bottle. So Eros EDP, it's that standard Eros bottle. This one pretty much looks exactly the same as the other Eros bottles. Has that signature blue look. Blue band around the cap with a gold top with the Medusa on top. You have a Medusa on the front of the bottle, that kind of maze-like bordering, plain glass sides, and that same kind of textured bordering on the back and on the bottom. Batch code and product information. Let's check the atomizer on this one. Yeah, it's an Eros atomizer. They're pretty good. Now, I don't know if this is something unique to my specific bottle for Eros EDP, but I have noticed my cap is a little loose. It's not very secure. It's my only Eros that I own that does that, so I'm hoping it's just this bottle. All right, let's go ahead and give it a spray. Immediately, it is fresh, citrusy, and vanilla. Those are the three things that I pick up on immediately with this fragrance. Once that citrus starts to die down a little bit, I definitely get a lot of mintiness and some of that candied apple. Now, as far as on a test strip goes, if I'm being honest, Eros EDP is not my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of how it smells in the initial opening on a tester strip. However, once you hit the dry down, I love how this stuff smells. That candied apple, a little bit of that mintiness, and that vanilla really come forward, and it's a very unique smelling combination. And I mean, Eros is undeniable how that smells. This stuff is citrusy, it's aromatic, it's sweet, vanilla. Some people will describe it as like a fresh spicy. I don't really personally pick up on a lot of spiciness in this one, but for me, this stuff really shines on skin. Again, the initial opening for me is not my favorite. If we're comparing it to every other Eros fragrance I own, which would be Energy, Flame, and Najim, it's probably my least favorite of all of the openings if I'm being honest. But just give it like 5 to 10 minutes to evolve and this stuff is absolutely killer. I love how it smells once it starts to dry down. That mint really starts to come forward, that vanilla creeps in a little bit more, that red apple or the candied apple comes out. Yeah, the dry down on this stuff is absolutely top notch. Phenomenal. This is my favorite of the Eros fragrances. This is the one that actually kicked off my fragrance journey, which I'm sure a lot of people have very similar stories with Eros being their first fragrance. I think it was actually almost about a year ago now, is September of 2024, that I went into a Sephora by my house, went and sprayed a few. I didn't try any on skin. I just ended up smelling this one on a tester, and at first I had that same initial reaction, like, oh, I'm not a huge fan of it. So I put the tester down and I went and tried a few different ones. Came back to that one and I was blown away. I was like, oh my goodness, this dry down just smells phenomenal. So I ended up picking up a travel size little skinny bottle of this that I wore a lot. I wear it very often. And once I ran out of that, I knew I had to pick up a full bottle of Eros. So I picked up this one, and then I also picked up Eros Flame at the same time. And I mean, I've used a good amount. Still have quite a bit left, thankfully. The nice thing with the Eros fragrances though is they're so cheap. You can pick up a bottle of Versace Eros EDP for like $60, $70, depending on where you go. Definitely do not pick up Eros fragrances from department stores. Don't go to Sephora, don't go to Ulta, don't go to Nordstrom's. Pick these up from discounters. You'll get a much better price. Which is funny, I said that. I did a review the other day on Eros Energy, and I definitely bought that one at a Ulta. So I overpaid for that one. Now, if we're comparing this to other blue fragrances, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's a blue bottle, it's a blue fragrance. It's meant for all the time wear. This is supposed to be somebody's signature scent, daily driver, kind of versatile scent that you can pull off any situation, anytime. It just depends how heavily you spray this stuff, because Eros does have a reputation for being a clubbing scent. I could see that. It's loud, it performs. This won't perform quite as well as the EDT, at least as far as projection goes. It probably does one up it with longevity. You could probably get the stuff to last quite a bit longer than the EDT, just because it is a higher concentration of oil in here overall. But if you're doing something like clubbing, yeah, go a little bit heavier. if you're doing something like office wear, which I definitely have worn this to work before, just go a little bit lighter, maybe spray it under the shirt so you don't project quite as heavily. But if someone comes in close, especially if you're working in sales jobs where you need to smell good, this can definitely be a good one. It's a very mass appealing, very blue fragrance, but Versace's just done their own twist on it and made it a little bit more unique than something like Bleu de Chanel or Sauvage or the Y line from YSL. But as far as performance goes, yeah, this stuff's a beast. You'll spray this stuff on in the morning, you'll get home and you'll still catch whiffs of it. It's not going to be like Najim level of performance, because man, that one, I wore it yesterday because I just really wanted to take it for a test drive. I was like, I've owned this one for a few weeks now. I haven't really paid attention to how well it performs. I work in an air-conditioned place, so I'm like, I'm not gonna be outside, so whatever, we'll just give it, a go. Sprayed it on. I got home and I was still smelling Eros Najim, and I work 10-hour days, so I got home 11 hours, almost 12 hours after I sprayed that, and it was still going pretty strong. This will perform close to that. It's not gonna get quite as close. I would say you're probably getting at least 8 to 10, maybe 12 hours, depending on how heavy you go with it. But that's nothing to scoff at. This stuff performs absolutely fantastically, projects very heavily. In my opinion, out of all of the Eros fragrances, from the EDT, the EDP, and the Parfum, this is the Goldilocks fragrance. This one does the best performance-wise. This one does the best smell-wise. So if I was going to recommend just one Eros fragrance to pick up, it would definitely be Eros EDP. Overall, I have a soft spot in my heart for Eros EDP. Like I said, it's the one that kicked it off for me. So I'm probably a little bit biased in my rating, but I would give Eros EDP an easy 9 out of 10 for the smell and the performance, just because, it ticks pretty much every box you could look for. If you want a dumb grab for the day, throw in Eros EDP. It's gonna get the job done. People are gonna like how you smell. I get compliments when I wear this. It lasts a long time, and it's just one of those ones that when you're walking throughout the day and you catch whiffs of it, you're just like, oh my gosh, you smell good. And like we discussed earlier, definitely pick up Eros EDP from discounters. Please do not go to a department store and buy this. You're probably gonna pay like $120 to $150 for a bottle of this stuff at like a Sephora or an Ulta. You can pick it up for like $60 to $70 at Joma Shop and other discounters. So please save yourself. You can get this for almost half off. So would I recommend Eros Eau de Parfum? Absolutely, I would. I think this one is a safe blind buy. If you are just getting into fragrances and you need a line of fragrances to kind of gravitate towards and get you started and build up a few different colognes in your collection, I think the Eros line is an absolute perfect starting point. They're cheap designer brands that everyone knows. They last a really long time. They cover quite a few bases. The original Eroses can be worn all year around. They have great longevity, staying power. Flame can be a really good fall springtime scent. Najim can be a really good wintertime fragrance, and Energy is a really good summertime fragrance. So they have pretty much one of everything in the line. So if you're looking for a specific brand and line to check every single box that you need, I think Eros is a great starting point. Well guys, that's gonna go ahead and do it for the video. If you liked it, please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know, have you smelled Eros? Do you own any Eros bottles like myself, who owns probably too many of them? Let me know down below. Anyways, I have been Austin. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you in the next video.